When did you used to live here a long, long time ago?
Oh, yeah, I was born in San Francisco in 1929, and I started coming down to Pedro about 5 years, 6 years later. I was just a young kid. My father used to bring me down on the weekends, and that's where I started to surf and I learned to surf.
And how about the temperature? I mean, the cold you didn't mind the cold
You
surfing there?
know, at one time in my life, I felt real good about cold water because I had never tasted warm water like Hawaii. And for us, when it got up into the 60s, low 60s, it was fantastic. It was like living in paradise.
How long was the session? I mean, you're going out in 50-some degree water. How long
Oh,
was it
no,
before the
I
hike
was
started?
going out in 48-degree waters, 46 sometimes. Uh, Amazingly, we used to, or I would stay out for 3 hours sometimes without a wetsuit, without any protection except a bathing suit, and I wasn't that cold. If we stayed out much longer, you did feel like you were hypothermic. I didn't know what the word meant then, but that's the way I reacted.
Did you guys build fires on the beach and pretty much
Oh
try to
God,
warm up in between?
we built fires on the beach out of driftwood, and the worst thing was out of old tires. The smell was unbelievable.
How about out at Ocean Beach? Anybody out there surfing at Ocean Beach at that time?
Not too many people. Like
What's the time frame? You know.
I think 1948 on up to the mid 50s, there were some guys who were really good, but there weren't many of them surfing. We went down Christmas vacation to Huntington Beach to body surf in what was called warm water then, and we watched these guys surfing through the pier at Huntington. It was fantastic. And when we went back to Santa Cruz, we found Ted Pearson and we demanded that he teach us how to surf. And somehow we got him to do it.
What did you guys wear to keep warm? Just anything and everything?
Usually you didn't have anything, but then we started getting inventive and creative, and we ended up using old woolen bathing suits, woolen shirts, uh, anything that kept the warmth in. But the best was wool. In fact, I could surf just as well in wool as I could in a wetsuit for a long time. Except you would drown in it because it would fill up with water, and it was dangerous because there's kelp in Santa Cruz, and the stuff would wrap around your neck, and you didn't know if you're going to get back to the surface.
What would you rank as one of the
I
difficult things?
think without any choice besides this one incident, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me surfing. And I was just learning. I was a lifeguard at Fly Shacker, and on lunchtime I used to go across and swim, body surf. And most of the time I took fins. And this day I only had a short lunch hour, so I went over without the fins. The second thing that was a mistake was the fog was in so heavy that I couldn't see the outside break. I didn't know how big it was. And then the third mistake was beginning to swim out without fins. And I got past the middle point where I couldn't go back to the beach. It was pushing me too hard, toward the ocean. I couldn't get anywhere. So I started struggling to get to the beach. I didn't know about swimming sideways, staying with getting in the rip and letting it take you wherever it wanted to. But I swam against it to the point where I was so tired, beat, I ended up throwing up underwater. I think I may have passed out a little bit, but generally speaking, uh,
Was somebody there to rescue you, or
no,
were
no,
you
that
taking
that
just
particular day, no one was out except me. The other lifeguards had already taken a swim, and I was late and I went out just to catch one or two body surfs, and I never caught a body surf. I thought that I was definitely drowning, and I could have passed out. I don't know. I don't remember. But I know that I threw up for 3 days after that, and I didn't even want to go in the water again.
Well, on to some more maybe. How about inspirational people? Anybody was an inspiration for you when you started? You were talking about.
Yeah. Ted Pearson was number one inspiration, and his uncle, uh, no, not his uncle, but Keating's uncle, was the second one, yeah, from here. And actually, most of the people who surfed, there were very few who surfed in at Pedro Point, were very inspirational, but they were tough son of a guns. I mean, if you didn't do it the way they wanted it, they'd run you off the beach, and you'd have a hard time ever getting back.